Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur, healthcare practitioner, and MBA, Jason Duprat.
This episode is sponsored by my free presentation for the Ketamine Academy. If you're tired of long hours, constantly being on call, or having to give up your nights, weekends, and holidays, all for an employer that only thinks of you as a productivity number that they're trying to maximize, then it's time to break free from the hospital grind, become your own boss, and finally take control of your professional trajectory. It's time you start your own practice. I know it sounds really scary, maybe even a little impossible. I get it. You got student loans, you're working tons of hours, and you may not even be a physician. Well, I am here to tell you that it's absolutely possible. Starting my own clinic was exactly how I started my healthcare entrepreneur career. And there's one specific type of clinic that almost anybody can open. Ketamine therapy is one of the most promising treatments in the fight against depression, PTSD, and chronic pain that we've ever seen. And thousands of patients across the country are looking for clinics in their area. The problem is that there aren't enough yet. And these patients need someone like you to open a ketamine practice in your hometown. Go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation for a no-cost 60-minute training on how to gain more freedom by opening up your own clinic. On the presentation, you'll discover why opening your own private clinic is a better decision than working more overtime or going back to school for another degree, why this one specific niche clinic is the easiest to open and doesn't require a bunch of cash to start, and how anyone can open this type of clinic, even if you're not a physician, by just following a few simple steps. So to register for this free training, just go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy podcast. I'm your host, Jason Duprat, and we are back here for another Tactical Tuesday episode. And this episode is being recorded on March 19th, and there's a lot of March 19th, 2020. There's a lot of information going around. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of misinformation going around as a result of the coronavirus and the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of hysteria and dramatization, and also a lot of legitimate concern and a need for precaution as it relates to spreading the virus to others. And so a lot has changed. A lot of new information has come out in the last week. There has been, the CDC and the World Health Organization declared this a pandemic, and lots of new information coming out about the outcomes of patients in Italy and in China and in South Korea. A lot of new information, new stuff going on. So what we're going to be doing here on the podcast is actually we're working towards getting a few infectious disease experts, pandemic experts, and virus experts on the podcast. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to be special edition episodes. So that way we can sort of help separate fact from fiction. It seems like the tide is starting to turn a little bit, where it was going from lots of misinformation and assumptions. And this is what my Aunt Sally says, who works on the weekends at the grocery store, about corona, because apparently she's an expert in coronavirus. But hopefully we're going to sort of help separate those sort of fictitious recommendations and a wannabe expert recommendations from actual truth and recommendations from the experts. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to be coming. On this episode, I wanted to focus on how to make the most of this time period. There's a lot of businesses that are going to be affected by the virus. Airlines are getting hit especially hard. Hotels, conference owners, anybody who puts on conferences are getting hit pretty hard. Anything that has to do with social gatherings is getting hit pretty hard by this recommendation to social distance and keep gatherings to what started out as less than 100, then it turned into 50, and then 25, and now it's down to 10. So that affects a lot of businesses for sure. And Definitely not wanting to downplay the impact that that has, because it certainly does. Even in the healthcare field, which is kind of crazy. You would think that healthcare providers and professionals would be pretty safe during this time, but shockingly, there's been a massive number of temporary layoffs just because especially in the anesthesia world, surgery, anything elective, anything not emergent as being postponed or canceled. Surgeon General recommended the cancellation of all elective surgeries in areas that are affected by the COVID-19. So a lot of anesthesia providers even are temporarily laid off of work. We're seeing the trend of 1099s sort of being the first ones to lose hours, but this is just like everything that seems sort of tragic at the moment is something that we are all going to be able to overcome. Unfortunately, there are some people who will get infected. Many won't have symptoms, obviously, but obviously some will get very sick and have really poor outcomes. So we're definitely not trying to downplay that. But as a whole, we're going to get through this. This is America. Everybody is super resilient here. Everybody is a bunch of go-getters. And it's just going to be a matter of time before this whole thing blows over and everything's back to normal. So on this episode, I wanted to focus on what you can do to make the most out of this particular time period. And one of the most important things you can do is, one, protect yourself, protect others. If you're sick, don't go out. That's huge. But the other is to actually be productive during this time period. And so there's a few things that you can do to be productive and make the most out of your time if you are temporarily laid off or out of work or doing work from home. A lot of businesses are encouraging and requiring their employees to work from home. So some of the things that you can do to make the most of this extra time at home, extra downtime, is to still be productive. Believe it or not, I was watching the news this morning, and the entire focus of the entire segment, multiple segments, was what you can do with your free time if you're temporarily stuck at home for self-quarantine or self-isolation, or you're laid off, or whatever the case may be. But everything that they recommended was entertainment. And so if you want to be successful in business and in what you do, if you get the extra time, which many of us, that's a big issue on why we can't move forward, or at least that's an excuse that we like to use, is that there's not enough time. Well, magically, lots of time appeared for many individuals. And unfortunately, many are going to waste this time. They're just going to completely squander it. A lot of people are going to sit and do exactly what the morning show talked about today, which was binge watching old episodes of Lost or Breaking Bad or any other Netflix specialty episode or movie. And so that's exactly what you don't want to be doing during this period of time. If you want to be average, go ahead, or below average, go ahead and do that. Waste all of your extra time on entertainment and things that don't move you towards your goal. But if you want to do what the top 5% do, what the top 1% do, and I'm not just talking about income earners, I'm just talking about the top 1% in your field, in your class, in whatever specialty you are, the top 5 or 1% of athletes, the best of the best, don't squander their time. They are perfecting their art and their craft, and they're learning and they're practicing and they are honing their skills. And so to get the most out of your downtime, you should be spending most of your time doing something to move you towards your goals for 2020 or for 2021. Whatever your goals are and whenever you expect them to happen, you have to take action to get there. And so a couple of things that you can do during this period of downtime, period of self-isolation and social distancing, is to learn and prepare. And some of the best ways to do that are to read books, listen to podcasts, take some online courses, join a mastermind. This time, when everybody else is obsessed with watching the news or entertaining themselves through things that produce no real value in the long term, they just simply are distractions. You could be getting one step ahead by improving your knowledge and improving your skill sets. So I went to my bookshelf where I have, I don't even know how many books, a couple hundred books probably, and pulled out just 5 actually 4 random books. So just to give a few book recommendations. So The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you have some downtime, I would highly recommend this as a top read. A lot of this book is about mindset, because that's a huge part of being successful, is changing your mindset. Stop being so negative. Stop being the Debbie Downer. You have to change your mindset. You have to look at the positive side of things. You have to believe things are possible, because if you don't, you have zero chance of reaching your goals, whatever those are. And so 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, the only difference between success and failure. I would highly recommend that one. It's a great book. There's another one called Profit First by Michael Michalowicz. Another good book. I haven't even finished it all, but I've started it. Great book. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson is another great book. And Contagious, Why Things Catch On by John Berger is another great book. So 4 great books right there that you guys can use to capitalize on any downtime that you may be having, and putting yourself one step ahead of the competition, one step ahead of the complainers, one step ahead of the 99% or the 95% that aren't doing anything besides wallowing in self-pity and wasting time and just focusing on entertainment. So those are 4 great books there. Like I said, podcast, huge. Obviously this one, always got to recommend this one. There is the Entrepreneurs on Fire, another great podcast, and Build Your Network. My friend Travis Chappell just launched a new one called World Class, where he interviews world-class everybody in every single category: athletes, news anchors, authors, movie stars. So that's a good one to check out. His first couple episodes have been on point. And then just scroll through the iTunes top 10 or top 50 and start listening to some and see which ones you resonate with. The other one's online courses. Great way to help put yourself ahead during any sort of economic downturn. So that way, as soon as things turn around, and they always do, as soon as this coronavirus thing turns around, as soon as we start to get it under control and we get over the peak of that curve and things start to dwindle, the economy is going to pick right back up. And so the best thing you can do is be prepared to take action as soon as things start to turn around, because the good thing about this in some situations, if you're a business owner, you're planning to start a business in a certain sector, is that for those who weren't prepared, for those who didn't have enough reserve funds, for those who didn't take good care of their customers, there's a good chance many of them will go out of business. And this is going to be your opportunity to, as soon as the economy turns around, step in with all the knowledge you just gained, take action, start a business, have a successful business, and catch the up curve of the next cycle in the economy. The economy always runs in cycles. So even if there is a period of downturn here, it is going to turn around. And so you need to be prepared and start preparing yourself now to take advantage of the next upswing in the economic cycle. And like I said, books, podcasts, online courses, great ways to do that. Now, real quick, I wanted to talk about another angle that you guys can do. So for those of you who maybe are 1099s and you're losing some hours because whatever elective cases are canceled or anything, non-urgent is being canceled, this is the gig economy. And so you have to do a self-analysis to make up some of your income. It's pretty easy. It's not hard to do. Do a quick self-analysis of your skill set. If you're a healthcare professional, one of the most obvious skill sets you have is the ability to pass your licensing exam. So right off the bat, you could start coaching or teaching others how to prepare for and pass the licensing exam for your specialty. That's a super easy way, super low-hanging fruit to make some extra income, to replace some income from the hours that you might have lost at work, and a way to take action and be in control and take control, assume control of your time and your destiny. So you need to take advantage of the gig economy. Everything can be done online. The cool thing about the gig economy is that you can literally create a business around any skill set you have, almost put it online in some fashion or the other. You can create a product if you're crafty, if you're handy. You could sell that on eBay. You could make a website. You could create a Shopify store. You could create an online course. You could do online coaching. all this stuff in this period of social isolation and distancing from one another, this is the perfect time to start your own gig to make up for any lost income. And then you can have that as a continuing source of income once things turn around. And ideally, you'll figure out a way to make that as passive as possible. And then you have a steady stream of pseudo passive income coming in down the road. So once you've sort of analyzed your own skill set, figure out how you can monetize it, you can start to promote it on things like websites called Nextdoor. So that's for something like neighborhood, local type stuff. There's Craigslist. You can market your services or skill set on Upwork, on Freelancer. You can build your own website. There's so many different things you can do. The last thing you want to do is, like I keep repeating, last thing you want to do is to sit around, focus 100% on entertainment, waste a whole bunch of time, and get nothing accomplished, and be no further ahead 6 months down the road than you are today, having not replaced any income, having not learned anything new. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. Get prepared to hit the ground running as soon as this thing turns around, and start actually building something now. Start building an online presence around your online, whatever your skill set that can be done online right now. That's the best thing that you can do. And also take some time to spend with your family. If you're self-quarantining, if you're self-isolating and you're at home, use some of this time and spend it with your family. Have a family dinner. Most families don't do that anymore. And when they do, everybody's glued to their phones or the TVs. Turn the TVs off, put the phones away, and have a family dinner during this time. If nothing else, if you do nothing else at all, that should be something that you should put a focus on above entertainment, is focusing on your family time. I think you're going to get a lot out of that. I think it's long overdue that people start to spend more time, face-to-face time with one another. And you guys can maybe develop some new interests that you and your kids are interested in, or maybe you and your wife might be able to spark some new idea and a conversation and a deeper level of connecting. Who knows? But the most important thing is to stay positive and to keep moving forward, keep being productive, and stay tuned for those episodes that we'll be having, the special edition on COVID-19 with some experts. So excited to announce those. And also, we want to let you guys know that if you are the type who's going to capitalize on any sort of extra downtime that you might have, or any sort of alone time from self-quarantine or self-isolation, all the stuff that's going on, we're trying to do our part to make it as easy as possible for people to be productive during this period. And so we are making both of our courses available to you guys at 50% off. We almost never do, I think we've done it once before, a 50% off discount, but unique times call for unique measures. And I think that's one of the things that America does great. You saw today that Facebook announced $100 million in ad spend and other grants and measures to help small businesses, which is phenomenal. And I think everybody should be coming together to support each other. And we're trying to do our part. And the thing that we decided to do is 50% off. So if you're interested in the Ketamine Academy course, we created a website. It's called ketamineprofessionals.com. And then you'll type in /virus. There you will hit a special checkout page where you can enroll for 50% off. And you still get everything that comes with the course normally. So we didn't take anything away at all. You get exactly what comes with the course, including the lifetime access to the students' Facebook group and a full year of access to the course. So if anything, even if something were to come up and you were to get say you're laid off and you were to get your job back and you had to go back to work in 3 weeks and you didn't finish the course, and this applies to both courses, you still have a year of access. So you have no worries. You can always come back anytime within a year and finish the course if you don't get a chance to finish it. And you have, like I said, 1 full year of access, or lifetime access rather, to the students' Facebook group. So ketamineprofessionals.com /virus for the Ketamine Academy course. And then we made for the IV Therapy Academy course, which teaches you the art and science of IV nutritional therapy, another great side gig that can be done because you don't actually have to have a clinic to do this. You can do this mobile. One great thing about being mobile is that, people are afraid of large gatherings or afraid to, go to medical practices potentially. And so by doing mobile, you can run, your own business right now. and serve the people of your community by offering IV nutritional therapy infusions like vitamin C and other immune boosting nutrients that you can give IV. So we're doing that one, like I said, 50% off as well. But on that one, you just go to the normal website. It's ivtherapyacademy.com. And then you can pick whichever course you want to enroll in. We have a light version, and then we have a business version. All of our courses have CE credits, so you can knock out some CE credits and count those towards license renewal at the same time. But with IV Academy, you'll just go to our normal website, ivtherapyacademy.com. And then when you check out, you'll just type in the code VIRUS. That's it. You can get 50% off. So this period of like self-quarantine, self-isolation, obviously is not going to last forever. So I don't know when we're going to take this down. We decided just to make it available now. It looks like the recommendation is to end that period around April 11th or something. So that might be when we take it down. Not really sure. We haven't committed to that yet, but you want to enroll, you want to take advantage of it sooner rather than later before it disappears. But I hope you guys take advantage of that. I hope that helps you sort of stay busy during that period of self-isolation and self-quarantine. Stay productive and pick up a book, listen to a podcast, subscribe to a podcast, take one of these online courses or any other online course, and be productive. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you got a little value out of it. Hopefully you all are staying safe. Don't forget about your PPE, and hopefully you have access to PPE. And I know many of you are on the front lines, so we all do appreciate what you're doing for America as a whole, exposing yourself to the virus and potentially your families. And we thank you for that. And we hope you stay safe. And for everybody else who is suffering the repercussions, just know that this is going to turn around just like it always does. And you will get through this and definitely maximize any downtime that you got. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will catch you on the next one. Have a great one, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.